Oh my God! Nobody gets that. Nobody.
Do you get it?
I got it.
You get it because she's your wife.
I get it both ways. Wow. Oh, why did I say that?
I get it both ways.
That needs to be
I think that's the title right there.
Oh my God.
Welcome back to the PTOUnlimited podcast. My name is Brett.
I'm Josh.
Alyx.
This is episode 80.
And Interstate 80, known as the Christopher Columbus Highway, is the 10th longest highway in the world.
I hate
Where is it?
It
goes through Iowa. And it's long, like 7.5 hours.
Well, it runs from
Illinois, I believe.
No. It runs from New York to San Francisco.
Oh my gosh, does it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, we get
take
on,
80.
Yeah, we get on 80, but
through like Iowa and Illinois.
We go through Illinois, go through Iowa, and then depending on where we're going, either into South Dakota or down into Missouri.
That's not 80.
Well, no, we split off with 80.
Yeah, right.
No, I hate taking 80. I hate it.
You
this
hate
is
it?
what you do for 7 hours. There's nothing. You just drive straight. It is quick, though.
The longest highway in the world is the Pan American Highway. It is 48,000 kilometers long. Let me see if I can find... It runs through Mexico and North America almost completely.
Oh.
It's crazy long.
I didn't know that. Cool.
So, cool stuff. I had a nostalgic moment happen to me over the weekend. I was shopping for some groceries, and I saw like four... I hope they were 21.
Oh, that's right. You told me about it.
I'm just going to say they were kids. They were picking out Pong cups, and they had a handful of Pong balls, and they had mixers and stuff. I was like, man, I remember those days where you sat in front of all that stuff wondering what you could afford for the party.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a nostalgic moment. And Alex is like, oh, we'll have that again one day. I'm like, no, we won't.
Yeah, we will. Next weekend.
Okay, so what is next week?
Oh, boy. Yeah, let's just get this out of the way. Well, before you ask that question, why don't you explain how it came up?
Yes, please
because this conversation started on a Sunday where you said next week is the party, and I agree with everyone else, not you.
Well, what is considered next week? That's the thing. Because on Sunday, Alex said next week we will be having the party.
I said, actually, I don't know what I said. I said something about being excited for next week, or I can officially say that the party is next week because I'm getting excited for it. And that's Sunday. So so today is the 18th, and our party for the Halloween is the 28th, which is, as we're talking, it's next Saturday.
It's a week from this coming Saturday.
Yes.
It's not the next Saturday that falls.
No, but it's next Saturday. It's not this Saturday.
Right. It's not next Saturday. Because
it's not the next Saturday. It's next Saturday.
It depends on how you take the word next.
Okay, so, Brett, look at this.
Don't show me a calendar. I know how it works.
Look at this. Sunday is day 1. Okay, that was the 15th.
We had this exact conversation on how people read calendars and how the weeks go.
Yeah, but we said, how does it... It was more, what day of the week does the week start for you? Is kind of...
Yes.
And for me, it starts on Monday because it ends with Sunday. But the calendar, which everyone goes by, it starts on Sunday.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
To me... When I hear next, it's the next one that you come to.
I'm with you.
So that's why the confusion surfaced. Finish the story for one.
But that is the story.
No. Because how many people said it's not next weekend? It's 2 weeks from. Because you said it on Sunday. That's technically still 2 weekends before the actual party weekend.
1 weekend.
Holy cow, guys.
It is 2 weekends.
It was Sunday, so this coming weekend, like this week, is 1 weekend. And then we have the following
There's another
weekend.
one coming.
There's another one coming, and that's the party.
So that's 2 weekends.
No,
But
because I would think if you say 2 more weekends, I would think you were
November.
saying like November.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
That's 2 more full
It makes
weekends.
no sense at all.
It makes perfect sense in my head.
You're being awful quiet.
I'm listening, and I'm also looking up other things for our podcast, but I'm going to say...
Well, how about you join the conversation?
I'm going to say something. I'm with Alyx on this because we had the same conversation when we were long distance. We'd be when we were dating, we'd be over the phone and say, I'm going to see you next week.
You know what? I think the long distance, I know why. That's why. The long distance thing messed me up because we would get so excited that we say, oh my gosh, it's officially next week, because on our calendar it would be the next week that we're
you live
looking
with
at.
them now. You can go back to the correct way.
Wow, way to be a killer on that. I get what you're saying.
Do you think I see where people see the confusion, but that's
confusion.
Why I put in like big chunky letters. It said officially I can say it's next week because it's technically the following week, next week.
Also,
at the end.
when you say that, you make it sound like, oh, there's only 1 more week until something fun happens, when in fact there's 2 full weeks until
there was not 2 full
Way to be a joy
weeks.
kill.
a work week is
Kill
5
joy.
days.
Sorry.
A week is 7 days.
Oh my god, we're not getting
This
anywhere.
is going nowhere. Alyx is stubborn. Brett, I get both of your points.
I'm speaking with the majority.
I said Alyx is stubborn. I didn't say you were.
You just did.
No, I said Alyx is stubborn, Brett, and then I paused.
Oh.
You know what? There's 10 days until the party.
Well,
How about that?
Me, Rick, and Shane were all on the same page.
Yeah.
Excuse me for being excited to hang out with everybody.
Oh, no, that's nice, but
I'm
you're
getting
being
this.
very euphemistic, if that's the right word.
Okay.
Meaning
So-
that you're making more time sound like less time, I guess.
She's
I
trying.
like that.
It's
I want the time to go by fast.
it's giving her the
You know what?
opportunity.
In Alyx brain, next weekend is in 5 days.
That's insane. I'm glad I don't have your brain.
I know, because if I think about it, because I've got so much to do until the party. I have like today off, and then I have like a little bit of Saturday, Sunday, a little bit of Monday, and that's it until the party. Until like I can that's how many. Technically, I have 3 days.
Yeah, it's a lot of preparing for us. We get a lot of stuff.
I hope your party is enough of a good time to warrant everything you go through to get ready for it.
Oh,
Have you
Because
not
I-
attended our parties?
No, I'm not. I'm saying
Are you
I
saying
hope
for
you
me?
get the enjoyment
I
out
do.
of it that merits all the work that you put yourself through to get ready for it.
Yes.
Dude, do you see that? I had a lot of fun making that.
I'm glad it was fun for you. Because for me, it would be work
Was
that I
it good
didn't
for
want
you?
to do.
I've had better.
I've had better.
I've had that.
It's crazy. My coworkers, they constantly talk about our party. Like throughout the year, they've been talking about last year's party. Now they're just anticipating this year's party. It's just our annual thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know. It's the one time. It used to be New Year's every year that I look forward to, and New Year's has just kind of gotten blah
Yeah, I agree.
over the years, and now
Well-
it's like
Well, plus
Halloween
we
has
had
been
a-
like, oh,
we had a bad one. I don't know if we ever recovered from it.
we did the year that we got all dressed up and we went out.
Yeah.
That was a really good one, but I mean,
You had a bad experience. Remember, you talked about it.
besides
with
those
the crown,
besides
those bitches.
besides those bitches, it was a great night.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I don't understand why people seem to find the need to pick on other people for no freaking reason, like
Some
they did
people
with
get
you.
joy out of it.
I get it. Yeah,
Some people are bullies.
Yeah,
they are. And
some
it's
people just they just get a rush out of doing that.
They do. And it's
Man, I wish I would have slapped a bitch. I'm glad Ashley was behind me and we were moving through the crowd
did
at
the
that
elbow
time,
thing?
and she elbowed her in her chest or whatever because she watched.
don't fuck with Ashley. She's not afraid.
We were just passing by and this bitch just ripped the crown off my hair, pulled my head. I'm like, what the hell? And Ashley saw it and just nailed her right in the chest. And I'm like, let's just get the frick out of here.
Yeah, we were already.
I hated going there.
What, early birds?
I think we were at early birds.
It's just not my scene. And
No.
Brett, you went to early birds before? Never? No? You never went to? I guess it was just us and Rick and some other friends then.
Yeah.
Like your main scene was Corner Pocket and Peanuts, right?
At the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that Pierre's is starting to be hopping again?
No, I didn't even know it reopened.
It did.
Redid everything, yeah.
Yeah, they've been through.
So
I know they got bought.
Yeah. They
did. The next thing happened on the weekend. Anything else interesting happen?
I can't think of anything that stands out.
Let's
we
see.
found out Jer's coming here for the party.
Yeah. Yeah. He kind of he said he was going to surprise us.
I'm surprised he didn't.
Sometimes, and that's the thing. That's what he does.
Alex cannot handle that.
I can't.
She needs to have preparation.
I do. I know everything will be
Sorry,
clean.
Jer, if you're listening. Alex likes to clean and deep clean the house before we have any guests stay over.
But that's the thing. Either way, because it's a party and there might be people crash here, I'm still going to do it. So if he was going to surprise me, now would have been the time to do it. So he's probably feeling really bad now.
No. You can't make Jer feel bad. He'll get over it.
Okay.
What did you have for the weekend? Did you have anything?
No.
Man, such a bland weekend.
Well, we did. There was that one thing we did watch. There was that funny one-liner thing that I had talked about. I think I had messaged it on one of our group chats. We were watching. I think it was Monday night. It was either Sunday night or Monday night.
Oh yeah,
football.
it was Sunday Night Football.
And we were watching.
Who was it? It was.
You didn't like the announcer guy.
New York and Denver played Sunday night.
We were watching a review of the plays and talking about players and stuff. It was
So
it wasn't like the
talking
halftime
about football night in America.
Yes, that.
So it was before the game.
Dan Patrick, Tony Dungy, and Rodney Harrison.
Okay, well I don't know who they are, but
Tony Dungy, you know Tony Dungy. He was the coach for the Colts, the really skinny guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, there was just one line that was said that I was halfway paying attention to what they were saying while I was doing something else.
There's a team that they're thinking of replacing their quarterback. I don't remember who it was. I don't know. This is going nowhere. Oh, no, I think it was the Dolphins.
Okay, can you talk now?
Go ahead.
Anyways, there was a line that was said, and I don't know what was wrong with me, but I laughed really, really, really hard about it. But they were talking about how Brett Favre's birthday was last week. Mm-hmm. And one of the announcers or hosts or whatever said, Brett Favre, he's 48 now. He's not coming back. But the way that he said it was so laid back and mid-conversation, it made it sound like he's 48. He's dead to me. He's he's not coming back.
Because
he's 48. He's 99.
They were thinking of asking him to come back and be a quarterback for some. I was like, there's no way.
No, there's no way. He's not coming back. He's 48 now.
First of all,
he's too old.
You must have had to be there to find.
Oh no, it was definitely. But
there's a lot of those stories that we have. It's kind of a had to be there kind of situation. It was a had to be there
moment. But the way he said it made it seem like he was this ancient person
or dead.
There's no way now. He's not. If 47, we would have had a chance. But because he's 48 now, nope, no way. He's too old to come back now.
I'm surprised that he's not coaching anybody, any teams. Jeez, Alex, let's hit it again. Why don't you? Or Peyton Manning. Both of them.
He might get involved somewhere.
Brett Favre, I think, would be a really good head coach.
I don't.
Or offensive coach.
I thought Brett Favre was older than that.
Really?
He looks older than that.
Yeah.
He's very gray. He was graying before 40.
Mm-hmm. He was gray when he was playing for the Vikings, and
he was 40
some of the
when he played for
Packers.
the Vikings.
Yes.
But talking about football.
Fantasy. You won.
I did. I finally won.
Congratulations, Brett.
I lost in my other two. But
Alex lost.
She did.
Yes.
I did.
My players. Wayne?
No,
Kevin.
Yeah.
My
players played like shit. I was pulling out 1 point a piece.
Yeah.
What? And they were giving me double digits for the last 4 weeks.
Yep.
I even took a chance and started Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, which
wow.
You don't even know who that is, do you?
No. Who's he play for?
He's on the Colts right now.
Oh.
But it didn't matter. I had already won.
You had already won before Monday night, yes.
But
I was really happy for you. I was like, holy crap.
I have to say this. I gave Shane a lot of shit.
Oh my God, yes. What is with the trades? I got the same one. I got a really crappy trade deal. 3 players for 1 from that Kevin guy. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, Kevin is a trader. He likes to, try to get different players for his teams. He offloads players that aren't playing for or scoring for him. Mm-hmm. I tend to stick to the team I drafted and only change things if someone is just terrible or got injured or something like that.
And that's where I'm at now. I feel like I have to trade.
My philosophy on trades are you shouldn't. I don't like to trade 2 backups for a starter.
Right.
And Shane was trying to get a couple of my starters.
Where's the logic?
So
I don't get it.
It can work. I just don't like to do it. And I was making the joke that he was trying to trade rate me, which is a reference from the league.
We were going to try watching that.
And I will put it on our group chat. So thanks for being a good sport, Shane. It wasn't as bad as I was making it sound. I was just trying to.
No, I get it. Like
shitty.
I've been offered a couple trades like that, and I'm just like, no, I'm keeping my team. If they do bad, they do bad. I don't want to get rid of my stuff.
I mean, honestly, if you're stacked at one position and you're in need of another, you could offer. I mean, you can do a trade it just depends on your team's needs.
Yeah.
And I needed a good starter at running back, honestly, because it's hard to find, once you go past like the top 5 running backs, a lot of the rest of them work by committee. So you never know who's going to make you points.
That's why I was super stoked that not last week, but the week before, where I just randomly, because I lost, who is my guy on the Minnesota Vikings?
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, I lost Cook, so it said that you had Murray.
Yes.
And I was like, and they were saying on the fantasy, I was like, well, I can't grab him because Brett has him. So no one had McKinnon, and I was like, well, I guess he's second.
So
now
well.
He's freaking dominating now.
He is, but don't forget that I guess when Cook went out, you could look at it as they're going to split time. Now he's starting to pull away and take the majority of the handoffs, which means teams are going to start to game plan against that. So just because he's scoring points now doesn't mean he will continue. Maybe he will.
I get it.
He's a beast, though.
He's done some excellent runs.
He may be. You never know because they're all professional athletes. They're all good because Anywho.
Oh my gosh, my wide receivers though, they gave me my wide receiver and both wide receivers and my tight end, nothing over 3 points. That's why
ridiculous.
I lost. Like
ridiculous.
My one wide receiver, Thomas from New Orleans, 1.1,
which is especially this year, and it really always is. But this year is so crazy in the league. Anybody can literally beat anybody.
It's interesting. So
you just never know who's gonna explode and get you a bunch of points.
Let's talk about Rodgers.
Freaking Brady only got me 16. He's been giving me like 20, 25 points.
Yes.
I want to talk about Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, Rodgers. We watched that.
He is a poor fucking sport.
Well,
he said fuck you to the Vikings face.
It was...
Fuck that guy. I was being nice about it.
Yes, but Vikings fans were cheering that he was hurt.
I did, and then I was like, it's his life. This is his livelihood. It's his career. What, Alex?
I told you right after that happened. Okay.
Okay.
I told you right after happened that if you were Aaron Rodgers and the way your attitude is when you're pissed off, you might not say you say things that you don't mean, and he probably did the exact same thing. He broke his freaking collarbone.
Well, it's
he's gonna be mad
on his throwing side.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that the beginning of the end for Tony Romo was a broken collarbone.
So what do you think? Think his career's done?
They said he would be out for the rest of the season.
Way too early to say that, but I don't think you bring him back this year.
Do a lot of people come back from that?
It probably all depends on the break and the.
He's been very sturdy so far.
Yeah.
But collarbones. You don't. Well, I shouldn't say you don't see it a lot. It's just you just never know. And I think because it's Aaron Rodgers, you don't play him the rest of this year.
No.
You make sure he comes back for 2018.
That's gonna hurt Ashley.
Strong.
I don't care.
Good for us.
So the Packers are probably going to be
Who's their second string then?
I don't know.
There's got a guy from I believe it was UCLA. Brett Hundley is his name.
Hundley, yes.
And he's a rookie. And
Is he any good?
Well,
he played okay.
I guess it depends on.
I didn't see the rest of the game.
The thing you got to remember is that Aaron Rodgers would take 80% of the snaps at practice, and Hundley would take 20.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now Hundley's going to get all the practice time, so he went into the game cold against the Vikings. It's a good defense, so give him a week to practice and play against the scout teams that's running the opponent for the next week's defenses, and we'll wait and see.
So.
No more Hail
Marys.
Thank you. I was like,
Hail Mary. I if you want to point any blame on it, I mean, I would go right for their offensive line. They broke that, and they got right through.
You can only hold protection for so long. The best offensive line in the league can only hold them off for so long. Plus, he was outside of the pocket when he went down.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it was just a football play,
And a lot of people said it was an illegal hit.
It was a little bit late, and he probably didn't need to drive him to the ground like he did because he had let go of the ball. But you can just tell the way he kind of went down on his elbow.
Yeah, it's like he went to use his elbow to stop, and that just
and
really the guy
just snapped
landing on him is 250 pounds, and they're all running incredibly fast. So it's just one of.
It's a dangerous sport. It's probably the one sport that I've watched that I see the most injuries out of.
Which you say what you will about Tom Brady, he's probably the best of all time. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league right now because he can move around a lot better than Tom Brady.
Well, right now, as of last week.
He was. He is not now, but anyway.
Yeah, we'll see how the stats go.
We got a lot more to get to.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Moving too fast.
We'll see fantasy this
Let's talk about Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah, so what about Netflix, Josh?
The Ranch, Part 4 is coming out in December.
Yay.
And they did a video on Netflix binging. I've got some facts for you guys. This is some interesting stuff.
Okay.
So, first of all, what do you think is the top country of binge racing? Now, what I mean by binge racing is you can go through an entire season or series within a short period of time. What do you think is the top country?
Japan.
Okay.
Australia.
It is Canada.
What?
Well,
Yeah.
Really?
it's too cold to do anything.
The U.S. is number 2.
I figured since you were asking, it's probably not the U.S.
Denmark is number 3. Finland number 4. And Norway number 5. So that's pretty crazy, right?
Wow.
You want to know what do you think is one of the, just out of the blue, what's a top binge raced show in the U.S.?
What do you mean?
Like out of all the Netflix series, what do you think is a top binge show, like binge
Breaking
raced?
Bad, probably.
That's not a Netflix series.
Are you talking about
original.
program?
Yeah.
Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, I'd say Orange is the New Black or Stranger Things.
Now they are on there. The top binge raced show is Gilmore Girls: A Year in the Life.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Right below that is Fuller House,
Really? Fuller House?
and then The Ranch.
Well, plus you gotta think, binge-worthy shows generally are more than one season.
Yes.
So Stranger Things really
I guess.
wouldn't fall into that.
Yeah.
No, it's on there. It's actually
but I mean,
the 10th.
If you're gonna binge watch a show, some bingers need to start on a show that is more than 3 or 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I understand. Like pretty much like we're binging and not binging The Office.
I mean, if you think about it, I don't really consider watching one season of a show because it's the only one there. If you watch it in X amount of days, that's not really binging it. That's just watching it until it's over.
Mm-hmm.
You get 3 and 4 seasons, and then you watch 3 or 4 seasons in 4 days. That's binging.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I would have considered how quickly we finished Stranger Things a binge watch.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
Like we started on a Friday night, and then
I think it
went like Saturday
night or Sunday morning.
Like we watched 7 hours.
The word binge kind of you associate that with multiple seasons of something.
I think the only time I can remember seriously doing your definition of a binge is when Breaking Bad was on.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
Josh and I had a weekend when we were living in Chicago, and we had started watching Breaking Bad like as they were on like airing season 4 or something. And so we had just started it. and we had finished like season 2, and we were in the middle of the afternoon, and we looked up at the time, and we're like, we don't have anything to do. And Josh goes, do you want to start season 3? I'm like, yep. And we did like 2 seasons in like a day and a half.
Now, out of all of the states in the United States, what do you think is the top state?
South Dakota.
Okay.
Wyoming.
West Virginia.
Actually, yeah, you got to get a state that has a decent amount of people.
Yeah.
I guess.
Indiana is in the top 8.
Really?
Yes. So the top 8 is...
What are the top 3, I guess?
Well, I have to do top 4 because it's in a bracket here.
Okay.
So it's Maryland, Delaware, Michigan, and West Virginia.
Wow, all like eastern states.
Yep.
Except for Michigan.
Well,
I mean, that's...
East Coast.
East of the Mississippi.
Easter.
It's on Eastern time. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. The top 2 is Michigan and West Virginia. So yeah, the rest of the states, it's crazy that they're not even that high up there. You'd expect maybe like Alaska would be on there, pretty high up because it's winter.
Well, if I was in Alaska, that's what I would do all the time. I hate the cold.
And all those facts came from Netflix themselves. So
okay, cool.
Yep, they did the ranch on Facebook. They did a whole thing where they were talking about they're the third top binge show off of Netflix. And they're coming back in December. They did a whole thing where they gave all these facts on their Facebook.
Cool.
So.
As we talked about Netflix last week as well, they put out their original shows, or at least some of them. Like I know they put out The Orange is the New Black on physical media.
Do they?
But I don't think they sell them to own on digital.
Well,
I don't know.
It's because it's a digital series on Netflix.
They wouldn't. Why would they do that when you can just?
But they could double dip,
Well, I'm like just thinking about in my own shoes. I don't really want Netflix anymore, but I'd like to be able to watch The Ranch or The Punisher when it comes out on digital, not physical.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is you can actually download shows off of Netflix to have them on your physical media device.
I don't think you can if you're not a subscriber.
If you're not a subscriber, no.
But he's saying he wants to get rid of it.
That's my own personal conundrum.
I get it. Yeah.
So,
That sucks because you're you're in that point of state of mind where you don't want
I'd like to give them money to own it.
Yeah.
Just one time instead of monthly.
I wonder if you get the disc, you get a digital.
Well, it's got to be tied to a digital retailer, which we will talk about later with something that I found.
But we can do that after this.
Are we done with this?
Yeah, that's all I had on Netflix.
Okay. So just talking about digital libraries, because I am working on my own personal one.
Mm-hmm.
I found this service called Movies Anywhere.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was because there's so many digital retailers now. So if you go to buy a digital movie, you can get it on a number of different places. Vudu, Amazon Video, iTunes. I know there's more, but those are the three that popped into my head. I think Google Play. You can get them on Google.
Yeah, Google has its...
So I see this Movies Anywhere, and it's basically saying, there are so many digital retailers. You redeem your code here. So when you buy a movie, you go to our site, you redeem your code, and you can watch it then on any of these digital retailers. Mm-hmm. So I didn't quite get it, but I'm like, okay. Well,
so it's like a hub for everything?
Yeah, sort of. So I downloaded the app and I'm looking, and there's nowhere to, you don't buy movies from their app. So you find a movie and you hit buy, and it brings it up in the iTunes store. Mm-hmm. So I played around with it, and I'm like, because what you do when you log into it or create an account is you connect your digital retailer.
Okay.
Now, the only options they have are iTunes, Amazon, Vudu, and Google Play.
The big ones.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when I linked my iTunes, because that's what I have started building a catalog on, and then it kind of imported all the movies from my iTunes catalog into this app, as long as the studios were backing Movies Anywhere.
Yeah.
And not every studio is, but they got most of them. And I think they even said 2 studios were holding out. So I'm like, I started playing around with it and saw what it was. I'm like, oh, that's fine. And it has a player in it, so I could load this up and not my iTunes, my TV app with iTunes to do it that way. So I really didn't gain any ground with that. So I'm like, well, just for the hell of it, I'll connect my Amazon and Vudu. Because if you buy a movie at Walmart, you have a Vudu account if you choose to. Because a lot of their movies, they pack in a Vudu.
That's their thing, yeah.
Yes. A lot of times they give you credit towards stuff. So I went ahead and linked them all. And I've bought movies from Amazon. And I know that I've redeemed digital copies with Vudu from movies that I've bought from Walmart. I never ever use Vudu though, because it's to me, when I tried to use it, it was kind of clunky and it just
garbage.
It wasn't very user friendly. So I connect them all then, and then I get back on my iTunes account or my movie list, and I've got a bunch more movies. I'm like, what is this?
What?
So basically, depending on the studio's agreement, all the movies that I had bought on Amazon, or not all of them, but a lot of them, had pulled over and gave me the download from iTunes.
Interesting.
So now I've got basically, and an opposite too. A lot of them that were on iTunes were now available on Amazon.
That's crazy.
So now I have two solid options with movies that I bought on the other platform.
Interesting.
Okay.
It's very bizarre.
So they gave you... Does the movies anywhere cost anything?
No.
No?
And what you do is like they have the redeem. They're basically like, redeem your code here. If you buy a Blu-ray copy, redeem your code here. You can watch them on anything. You can watch it on iTunes. You can watch it on Amazon.
Wow.
Which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Especially when I had first started buying digital copies on Amazon, and then I switched over to iTunes. Well, now a lot of those that I already bought are now available on my iTunes. So I literally have quite the large library, and they're available on both.
It's crazy.
So I did it all for free basically, because I just had to sign up for this.
Nice.
So check it out. I'm glad I did, because I'm kind of OCD about that kind of thing. And even though some titles aren't available on both, the fact that I got a bunch that I wanted all over to my iTunes, because that's primarily what I use, I thought it was really cool.
Did you have anything else to add to that?
No.
That's pretty. Like Alex and I, we don't do digital. We just do streaming services and disc, and
if we had more digital things, like
we just don't buy movies.
no, like if we had like an iPad or something that we're using all the time for digital things, I think we would.
You got 2 tablets for Christmas. You didn't even.
I use them.
You use your Kindle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know the size of DVD collection that I had.
You did.
Yes, you had
like
It was
4
big.
shelves, and you were getting tired of moving them.
I was, and it's just like this is really not the future in a sense. And even I still buy Blu-rays of new movies, but I prefer the digital option. Now, when we have the apocalypse and all the servers go down, I'm going to be screwed. But
Kind of screwed, yeah.
No, they can make your own movie.
That sounds like it'd be pretty stressful. Speaking of stressful, I had a stress dream last night about the podcast.
oh boy,
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
That'd be like the first podcast stress stream.
second one. I had
this
another.
isn't on the board.
No, I totally spaced it. I basically what the dream was. Alex and I went to Chicago. We were visiting. I don't know who. We were in this house. Do you remember that house that we were at where my brother got married?
Yes.
Yes, it was a lot like that. Only there was hardly any furniture, and it was raining. It was dark. Then you showed up with mics, and then you're like, "All right, it's time to record, guys." And it was loud out. Like there were these people that were in this house that were making noise, and we were trying to record, and we kept on. So we sat like. I was out of the room for some reason, and you and Alex started recording with, I think, Rick or something. So I sat down, and for some reason, my mic would not stay standing up. It kept on falling over and making noise. It was dumb.
We recorded a show in a haunted house.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a lot like that. And as soon as I sat down, you turned around and you're like, all right, who's next? And someone else came in and to come in and record like a fourth person, because Rick left and someone came in. And right when we were just about to begin, someone woke up. I don't know who it was in this house. They started making so much noise in the next door. I was just getting so furious. I was like, podcasts are meant to have quiet environments. This is not how it goes. I woke up and I was just like, that was ridiculous. I can't believe I had another stress dream about the podcast.
I don't think that I have ever had a stress dream.
You don't do as much as I do.
I understand that, but I'm sitting here. I'm on a mic. I'm being
No, I get
recorded.
it. You do a lot of the social media, and so do you, Brett. I do the video stuff, and I have to, do the audio and video sync and stuff like that. And it's like I have a lot of investment into it, a lot of time.
Well, how about you take a vacation?
I can't. It's my hobby, and I enjoy it.
Okay.
I must not enjoy it enough to dream, have good dreams about it.
I guess.
I said the other time.
I have too good of dreams about it.
I said the other stress dream I had was you kept on farting, Brett, during the podcast. I said this last year. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
What?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I got mad at him.
Nice.
So
okay.
yeah, I totally forgot about that. I spaced that. It would have been on the board, but yeah, we can move on from there.
I want
Okay.
to talk about this truck that I saw.
Yeah. What Instagram?
So I pulled up to the stop sign, and I was driving out of town in the country, and this big truck was coming. So I waited, and it was a truck that had a lot of aftermarket work done, meaning it just customized.
Okay.
So it goes by, and I pull out onto the road, and I'm behind it, and across the tailgate is the symbol for Instagram and its Instagram handle, or whatever they get.
Yeah. Yep.
So at the time, I'm thinking, that is stupid.
Okay. What kind of a
That's a
Basically,
good idea.
it's advertising his Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then I thought, well, maybe it's a show truck.
It could be. Did it look very polished?
Well, it was very nice. It was a bit overdone, in my opinion, but...
Do you remember the handle?
No.
Oh, dang. I'd look it up.
But I just thought... And it wasn't small. It was plastered clear across. You were meant to see it and look this guy up. So I sort of remember the substance of it was about the truck.
Yeah.
So I hope he put it on there because it is a show truck
Like
that
a show
he,
truck, yeah.
shows off or whatever. Otherwise, I think it's just kind of...
It's kind of bizarre.
Yeah,
but
I'm
that's
just like, I wouldn't, even us now, I wouldn't plaster our handles and stuff on my vehicle.
bull crap. You wanted a bumper sticker
This is
so
like,
bad.
I would put a PTO Unlimited bumper sticker on my car.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, but I wouldn't put my personal ones on my
Probably
vehicle.
not.
Well, this
no.
might be a business Instagram account. You never know.
It could be. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But if this guy is, trucking through the country and he's getting paid and it's
Yeah.
his job, then I would advertise the crap out of whatever I had.
So I
but not in a semi truck.
I didn't like it at first. No, it was a pickup truck.
Oh, it was a pickup truck.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't like it at first, but after I thought about it, I'm like, well, I shouldn't judge because maybe it makes total sense.
The place
maybe
where
he gets paid because his truck is so nice.
The place where we get our shirts, they do vehicle wraps. They keep on advertising that stuff. I was like, I don't have a good enough car.
No, every time I go in to pick up the shirts, they're always like, oh, I think our name automatically gets entered in for a wrap. I think when we buy something from them.
Mm-hmm.
So like, oh, you could win this vehicle wrap. And I'm thinking we
probably put it on your car, Brett.
Probably wrap Brett's car.
Your car is nicer than ours combined.
I'm like, or I could just save it for when we get a new car. I'm like,
That's
we
what
are
I
not
would do.
wrapping one of our
Unless
cars.
there's an expiration date on it. I mean,
Yeah.
But
Or we would have to get buy a business car and then wrap it.
Well, maybe one if we
That would
ever
look so
make
cool
money,
though.
right,
We'll have a
Like a
business.
black
business
SUV
car.
that has PTO
I
Unlimited.
mean, you are thinking way into this.
being all nice and shiny.
I get it.
You know,
be good for
we-
travel.
It would be good for travel, and then it'd be we could take some cool photos in front of it, and yeah. it'd be
Alex
cool.
is in fantasy world right now.
Yes, so-
We're not even close to that, Alex. A girl can dream, right?
Look at where we're at now.
Yeah.
We've got foam board, guys.
Oh my God.
We've got foam board.
Phone board is good.
We are upgrading.
So Alex had a pretty interesting thing happen to her family today.
Oh yeah, we could talk about that real quick.
And then I got to get into something as well as segue.
I went to my mom's today, and I think it was around 3:00. And I take my laundry over to my mom's because I can
Laundry.
because I don't have laundry in my a laundry unit in my townhouse. So anyways, I went over there, and she lives down the street. So I went over there, and I had to get some stuff done in between loads. So I had to go to Target, and I realized I had like a 30-minute wait until I had to switch the loads. So it was like just a little bit after 3. The only car that was parked in front of my mom's house was my brother's, because he was the only one there. And then I left, and I came back not even 20 minutes later. And as I'm pulling down the street, there's 4 cop cars, a fire truck, and an ambulance on my mom's lawn, like hovering around this like tannish, goldish looking.
It was a Ford Taurus.
4-door. Yeah. Oh, okay, a Ford Taurus.
That's what I saw in the photo.
Oh, you saw a photo?
Your sister put it on her Snapchat.
Oh, okay. But so anyway, so I'm like, oh my God. At first, like there were so many cars, like the police officers and everything were covering the car, and that's usually where my brother parks. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I like pulled up really quickly, and then as I'm parking, I see my brother standing in the driveway. I'm like, oh, thank God. What the hell? I'm like, wait, what are they looking at in the car? Oh, wait, that's not my brother's car.
Yeah.
So I go out, and I like, as I'm getting out of the car, I have a police officer walk up to me, and he's like, recognize this vehicle? I'm like, no. And I was like, I was just here 20 minutes ago, and that was not here. And he goes, oh, that was very helpful information. Thank you very much. I'm like, you're welcome. Glad I could help. And I was like, but that's all I know. And at first he was like, do you recognize the man inside the vehicle? And I was like, easily 30, 40 feet away. And I'm like, and he's like, and then he kind of paused and was like, nah, never mind. You don't even recognize the vehicle. You don't know I have to go over there. I'm like, oh my God, is someone dead? So I walked up to my brother in the driveway. I'm like, what happened? And he said, so I'm upstairs in my room, and my sister comes home with my nephew from school, and she goes, Jake, were you expecting some friends? Because there's somebody with a car parked out front with their lights on, and it's daytime. Like daytime, sunny daytime.
With their headlights?
That's what she said. That's what she told me. She said, and the lights are on. And he said, no, but I guess I'll go downstairs and check. So she went upstairs. Jake went outside, and I guess went and knocked on the window. And this guy's like hunched over with his head down over the steering wheel. And Jake's like, he's not moving. So he's like, I stood there for what felt like a pretty long time for someone not to be able to move and respond to me. So I went inside and said, Paige, go call 911. So, and he said by the time he went upstairs, told her to come back outside, the guy had moved a little bit, and he said that the guy was on something. Like he wasn't sure. He's like, he looked like he was on something. And he's like, well, at least he was able to park the car. He didn't shut the car off, but he was able to park it. Wasn't up on the curb or anything. He just kind of drove and stopped right in front of the house. Yeah. And then when I got there, they were gonna put him on a stretcher. They were searching the car, and looked like they put like a bottle of pills or something on top of the car. I don't know. But my brother said he was like, didn't look any older than me. And that's pretty much all I knew. And then my sister went out, gave him all the information that we had, which was pretty much, we saw it, so we called the cops. So I'm like, and then we saw, and then the only information they gave us, they told us what his name was, because we didn't recognize him, so they were making sure I don't recognize him at all. And then his license plates were expired as well, so it was like the only other thing I got out of it. And then they came and took him to the hospital, and then I left, but they said that they were going to come get like a tow and have the car towed. Yeah. So but I just thought that was crazy. I'm like, I'm gone for 20 minutes. I come back and there's a crime scene in front of my mom's house. Well,
and I had a segue into that.
And of course, like as I'm pulling up, my mother pulls in. Like,
she was
she's
freaking
like, out. What's going on? Is everyone okay?
Brett, you might remember this story. This happened 10 years ago. April of 2007. There was it was about 1:00 at night.
Is it April?
It says it on this screenshot here.
Really?
Yep.
I thought it was like January.
I wrote this story. Alyx and I, we dealt with an extremely intoxicated girl.
I think she was also on something.
We at that time we weren't.
I know what drunk is. And
she smelled like booze.
She did, but I think she was also on something.
She was practically half naked in stuff that wouldn't keep you warm. It was like 30 degrees out. It was cold.
It was very cold.
And
it was in the middle of the night too.
Yeah, it was 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
I was taking you home, and she was just in a zip-up hoodie and heels, and I think
like a dress.
It says in here,
it was like a
low-cut jeans.
Was it? I don't know.
Anyway, it was
yeah. So,
cold
anyways, it
and
was
she
really
wasn't
cold, and she wasn't
covered.
wearing anything.
Yeah, she wasn't covered very well, and we walked up to her and tried to help her, and she couldn't talk basically, and
No,
she
you
was
for- you
so
forgot
messed
to-
up.
You forgot the big reason why we went over. And
The only
helped
reason
her.
why we went over her is because we were sitting in my car and we looked over and, well, we almost hit her for one. She wasn't
Yeah.
wearing anything that could have been, unless you had a light shown right on her, you wouldn't be able to see her. She collapsed in the middle of the street and stuff. And
So we just kind of like got out of the car real quick and ran over to her.
and we helped her out, and she said no. She pushed us away and collapsed again and stuff. So I got Alyx on the phone to call 911, and this girl she was like completely wasted, and I don't know. She said she was trying to kill herself and stuff like that. You know, a lot of crazy things.
Well, she was saying a lot of crazy things
that night. Yeah, we called the cops, and they were not very professional. You know,
no, they
the
were,
ambulance people they came out, and
the way that
paramedics.
the way that they handled
ambulance
her was
people.
not ideal.
No, it was very wrong, and
Yeah.
so yeah, she tried to throw herself into traffic on Reed Road.
Yeah, I
Remember
know.
that?
Yeah, I kept trying to tell you to grab her and get her out. I'm like, I don't care if she hits you, just pull her out of the street.
Yeah. I
But
remember
she slapped me, didn't she?
she hit you.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, she hit me. 'Cause I was trying to I don't remember. This was 10 years ago, 11 years ago,
10 years ago.
10 years ago. So, and it was also really late. So it's really hard to. I remember scenes of this, but I know she slapped me or something because I was trying to talk to her and say, hey, because I had the cops on my cell phone in one hand, and I'm trying to talk to her and hold her back from the street, and I just remember her pushing me and slapping me. And finally I let my hands go, and I was like, Josh, you handle it, I need to talk to the cops.
Yeah. Do you remember us telling you the story?
No.
It was on my Facebook notes
I say, it was
10 years ago.
I don't think we made it a really big deal.
I shared it.
Other than that,
Yeah. I just remember it being I've never dealt with that kind of situation before.
Well, I remember to get her out of the street, you were whispering to her, you're like, come here, I have a secret to tell you. And she's like, oh, what? And then I was getting it. Luckily it was 1:00 in the morning and there wasn't any traffic, but
there was some, but it's Fort Wayne. It's
So
that's all I had to say.
What's this pay for it thing?
Oh, Alyx and I have been going to the gym lately.
Yeah, we've been back at the gym, and we got, I think it was on Monday, maybe.
It was Monday.
Monday, we got into the car after we got done working out, and we had not gone to the grocery store yet.
We still haven't. It's been over a week.
I know. So we hadn't gone to the grocery store yet, and we were starving after working out. And Josh was like, he leaves most of his stuff at the house, because when we go to work out, I bring my pass, my ID, and our phones. That's pretty much it.
That's what we bring in.
So,
but you leave your purse.
But I leave my purse in the car, so I'm the one that has cards and money and all that other stuff. So we got into the car, and Josh is like, so what do you want for dinner? And I'm like, I don't know. And Josh just looks over at me, and as I'm fumbling around, and he's like, well, whatever we're having, you're paying for it. And I'm like, I kind of was like, wait, what? What do you mean I'm paying for it? Don't you mean we're paying for it? He's like, well, I don't have my wallet, so you're paying for it. But
it's coming out of your wallet. You're paying for it.
But the way he said it is you're paying for it.
It's it's not coming out of my checkbook, right?
I looked at it weird. I'm like, why aren't you paying for it? I totally forgot that he left his wallet at the house.
Yeah, I have no reason to keep it.
He's always the one that pulls out his wallet during if we go through the drive-through or go. He usually buys the stuff.
I'm the man.
Yeah. So I was like, what do you mean I'm paying for it?
It's kind of like when you have those joint.
We're married. We're paying for it.
If you, since you're going to the gym, and that's great, you ought to really strongly consider meal prepping for the week.
Yeah, I know.
Trust me, we have thought about it. Alyx hates going to the grocery store.
I hate it. It's the worst place in the world for me.
Alyx has had bad experiences.
I don't like it either, but if you meal prep, you only have to go once.
I said that on the way out. I said, Alyx, I've been thinking about doing stuff where we can cook a whole bunch of stuff and have it ready for lunches and dinners.
Okay, this is how bad I hate the grocery store. And I don't know. I think one reason is because it's cold.
Grocery store is always cold.
It's always cold. And
Wear a sweatshirt.
I hate being cold.
Wear a sweatshirt. You live in
I
Indiana.
know.
They're going to be cold at some point.
Okay. I hate being cold, and I hate going, if I don't have a shopping list, I hate just walking around the store, because then I just walk around the store and waste time, and I'm not sure what I want, and it just becomes
Why else do you hate it?
Okay, well, no, that's just pretty much why I hate it.
Okay, so those two things are very preventable.
She gets into run-in. She doesn't want to see people she knows.
Oh, I can relate to that.
Yeah, she has had bad experiences with strangers.
Yes, at the grocery store. We talked about that last.
Yeah.
She's just had issues with
I just
public.
don't like that. And I don't like scanning stuff.
You've never been a cashier.
I suck at it.
Or if you don't like it, go to a person.
She doesn't like talking to people.
No, actually, I prefer
You like people
I
over
prefer to actually
self-checkout?
go to
that.
No, because I can't.
They
bag.
always overbag the stuff, or like they'll put 3 items in a bag where it can fit 5 or 6.
Depending on how much you get, you may have to go to a person.
I know.
I don't know. It's the most boring place in the world. So it's so bad that when we do end up going to the grocery store when we're out and about. It's the other thing I hate is if Josh and I go out to eat and then he goes, all right, well, we have to go and stop by the grocery store afterwards. I don't like doing anything after I'm done eating.
No, you don't.
I am like, you can't get me to do anything. So we will pull up to the grocery store and he'll look at me and go, are you coming in? I'm like, nope. I will sit in the car while he goes and gets the groceries.
You should try. If you hate it so much, why don't you try Kroger Click List?
I thought about it. I need to look at how that works.
Yeah.
Can you order a bunch, or is it? Do
they just bring the groceries out to your car?
What you do? There's parking.
Yeah, I saw the parking
assigned to it. So you go there, you call the number.
Yeah.
Call a number with your order number, I believe. Now again, I have not done this. This is what somebody told me, and they bring it out to your car.
So you can order like hundreds of dollars of stuff.
I
don't know what the limitations are, but yeah, I mean, you want to be careful because not be careful, but there's always the possibility that something you put on the list is not there.
Right.
So, and I don't think that they tell you, it just, you don't end up getting it.
Right. Right.
Okay.
So you might do just the basics, and then you can run in and get the stuff you need.
I know. I could just. I think we got spoiled with our grocery store that we went to in Chicago.
Ultra Foods.
Yeah, because it was the most
Shout out to Ultra Foods.
the most organized grocery store I have ever been in,
So
and I actually liked going to the
Ultra
grocery
Foods
store.
is like a maze. You would go through
you start
and then you
lane
go
one,
around.
and you just go like this, and then you make it to the checkout because it's like everything that you need. Anything anybody would need.
What happens if you forget something? Can you turn around, or do you got to go?
Oh no, I didn't know. You can. Yeah, you can. But the way that it's set up is when you walk in, the left side of the store is
it's blocked off.
It's kind of blocked off because you have to go grocery shopping pretty much, and then in the back, you make your way through. You get all your regular stuff. In the back is where the deli and stuff is. So you stop at the deli,
sorry.
you get your stuff from the deli. And then when you go to the left, if you need anything like cat food or cosmetics or all that stuff, it's all separate from all the other groceries, and that's organized as well.
Yep.
And then you just pinpoint your way down all the way to the checkout. Like it's so nice. And then when Josh is at work and he tells me, make sure you go over to Kroger and you go pick something else or something up at the blah 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 at the grocery store. Doesn't matter how many times I've been there and how many times I picked up this one item, I will call him in a fluster and just be like, I'm leaving. I don't even know where the fuck it is.
I don't know where the ketchup is.
And I would pass by it like 5 times, and I would just get really frustrated. And then I couldn't find anybody to tell me where it's at. Like I don't like the grocery store.
Yeah, like we get it.
Okay,
we got it.
Did you have anything else to say about that?
No.
Why don't we talk about costumes?
Yeah. Alex is really getting into her costume making.
I have done a few new things that I have not done before.
Exactly.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome.
She bought that blue part all on its own. Everything else is added by her.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. Just trying to say it.
I'm pretty proud of it this year. I think I took it to the next level. Every year I try to do a more challenging costume. I'll announce what it is either the week of Halloween or next week. I haven't decided yet.
That's the same week.
By your estimation, it is.
No, because next week is the podcast.
Go on.
And then the week after is Halloween. So that's in 2 weeks.
Okay.
You just said that Halloween is in 2 weeks after that whole 20-minute opening.
Halloween is in 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks from yesterday.
Isn't the party in 2 weeks then?
No, the
party's next week.
Oh my God. You are nuts.
No, I'm not. That's how my brain works.
I want people to
go on.
message us, email us, whatever, saying that the
That
way
I'm crazy?
you do it makes it much more difficult.
That's how I see the world. That's how I plan my weeks. Is how I
A day in the
that's how I
life
think.
in Alyx.
Oh, you don't.
Actually, a week in the life in Alyx.
So
Or a day. You
With
just don't want to
Alyx.
be up here.
The Halloween party is 1 week away, even though Halloween is 3 days from it, but that Halloween is 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Nobody gets that. Nobody.
Do you get it?
I got it.
You get it because she's your wife.
I get it both ways. Wow. Oh, why did I say
I
that?
get it both ways.
That needs to be
I think
edited
that's
out.
the title right there.
Oh my God.
Anyways, I get it, so that's what makes it all right. Anyways, let's go back to what I was talking about. So, in doing this costume, I have learned how to sew a button on. Shut up, Brett. I have learned how to sew a button. It is extremely complicated.
Yeah.
To do one for the first time. After that, you kind of
Imagine doing 4.
Yeah, 4. There's 4 buttons. Luckily, they were big buttons. But tying knots and all of it, I don't know, it's complicated. But I learned how to do that. I learned how to make a cloth bow from scratch, like cloth and a sewing machine, scissors, needle and thread. And I made bows, and they look amazing.
So none of that's made with glue?
No.
Wow.
No.
So you would have made a lot of that with glue like a couple years ago.
Yes.
Like I did with my stuff.
All right, so I did 6 years ago, I was Maya, the siren from Borderlands.
Is that 6 years ago?
I believe so. Yeah, 6
No.
years. It's either that or
2012.
5 years ago.
5 years ago. Excuse me.
But in Alex's terms, 4 years ago.
Years don't work that way.
Wait a minute. What's next year to you?
Shut up. Shut up. Anyways, no, so I was that, and I had this huge plan in my head, and that's when we were living in Chicago, so I didn't have a sewing machine available at that time, and I was like, that's all right, I know how to stitch. I learned how to do that in 8th grade. I'll cut everything out and I'll stitch it, and I got like this yellow leotard, and I was going to cut out a pattern and stitch it onto the yellow leotard. I could totally make that costume 10 times better, by the way.
You probably could.
So anyways, the only part of that whole fucking costume that I stitched was a black piece of cloth that's only about a few inches in width, and it's a cuff around my wrist, and I got so fucking frustrated because it kept falling off and the string kept
Took you a
breaking.
couple hours,
It took me a couple
too.
hours to stitch that, and I was like, and then I had the whole leotard I still had to do, and I'm like, screw it. So I put the
Screw it.
I put the leotard on, and I took like this. I took black duct tape.
Yep.
And I took some glue, and I glued the duct tape onto my costume.
Even though duct tape itself has glue.
No, it was coming off. I took
I
like, it
remember.
was like cloth.
I was there.
Cloth glue or something like that. It was weird.
So you
glue.
glued the sticky side down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I glued my costume together.
Alex
instead of,
she's advancing.
oh yes, I mean that was my first time ever making my costume. It looked really good. It was good. It held up. But the other things I've done to this one is the whole thing is sewn either by a machine or by hand, and it looks amazing. So I learned how to make an apron. I learned how to cut out a pattern and sew it on and do different types of stitching. And I've also learned how to another step of weathering. And I learned how to do what's called tea staining. So to make a white cloth or something that's lighter colored look like it's been through hell and back, you get a big bowl of water and or a big pot of water, and you boil it with about 5 or 6 black tea bags, and then you simmer it, and then you dip that cloth or gown or whatever you have in there, and you let it sit for anywhere between 5 minutes to 2 hours depending on how dark you want it. And then you take it out and rinse it off, and then you dry it off really quickly, and then you just kind of scrunch it and take the tea bags that are left over, and you just roll them in your hands and scrunch them all over. And that's how I got to look like a piece of shit. Which is the point of part of my costume. And it looks amazing.
Yep.
So I did that and learned how to do that. And then I weathered the shit out of the ends of it. And the only part I didn't do that I'm still going to do is I'm going to take it outside when it's nice and dry outside. I'm just going to kick it around on the cement and weather it a little bit more.
Better do it soon because it's going to start raining again.
Yeah, I know.
What about yours? You haven't said anything.
Oh, mine's sitting right there.
So and I don't think he's announced what he's going to be either.
Nope.
So.
Oh, I see what it is.
Yeah.
So, but we are, this is going to be in 15 years that we've been together. This is going to be our first.
It's not really a couple's costume.
First very close
So you
couple's
guys never
costume.
do companion.
Nope.
We never do.
No.
Nope.
And it's not, but it's from the same.
It is.
It's from the same thing. Yeah.
I'm actually her enemy.
Yep. Yeah. So it's gonna look so cool. And today I'm trying something new. I went and bought today. I got colored contacts.
Oh, nice.
She's never.
I've never put contacts in before.
I told her it's not that difficult.
Well, and that's
It's
the
not,
thing.
but
It takes
You've
the
never done it. It took when I first got
the
mine.
thought of your finger going to your
that
eyeball.
never
I'm
bothered
perfectly
me, but-
fine with touching my eye. Like if I wanted to, I can just like touch it right now and I'd be fine.
Do it. Ew. Oh, you just poked it with your nail.
It's fine. Well, I think I'm used to it just because I get like.
Oh, you
like
get you do
mascara
makeup.
Like I do makeup.
You have
so I have
pointy
no,
things sticking by your eyeball.
Yeah, I have no problem putting eye drops in or anything like that. So I think it'll just be weird doing like what you're in the mirror doing like.
Yeah,
It's not that difficult.
It took me a while to get it down to a science.
Acclimated to getting your finger towards it and
See,
knowing.
I had to do the whole.
Oh yeah. You put your arm over and you do the whole this thing.
Yep.
And you just
I
do
think
that.
I think getting the contact in looks easy, but I have no idea how the heck I'm going to get it out.
Oh,
Take your finger and
that's
push
way
it.
Easier.
It's so.
It is?
Yes.
Really just grab it, pinch, and pull it off.
But what if I grab my eyeball?
Don't.
You won't.
I won't.
No.
You'll be able to feel it, and as soon as you feel it, you just pinch it and it pops right off.
Yep.
So the hardest part is actually putting it in?
Yes.
No doubt. Very good.
Yay.
So, but yeah, I'll have to show you the contact.
I gotta talk
afterwards.
about my meme that I made.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't even
So,
see that on there.
It was a late
That's in the
edition.
group chat, right?
So
Oh.
I'm late to the meme game, but
I love memes.
I need to start. As far as making them,
You made that?
I did.
Okay.
Do you not like it?
No, I thought it was already made.
Oh,
Was that never made before?
I don't know, but
I'll show it on YouTube.
I
So
made it myself. So
Good job.
my
Yep.
my coworker has a desk that is littered with Post-its.
oh,
Like,
you
he's
should
a-
see mine.
He's a Post-it.
If
guy.
I had a
mine
desk,
used to.
I would have Post-its
He's got
all
a
Mine
over.
used to.
Post-it guy, and he's got just papers everywhere, and so I always think of this scene from Jurassic Park, which is where Sam Jackson, Mr. Arnold,
Yep.
sits down at Nedry's desk and goes, "Look at this workstation! What a complete slob!"
Yes.
Knocks stuff off the table.
That's exactly how it is, you know.
So I go to my buddy, and I have that movie digitally, so I pulled up that part, and I'm like, John, I wasn't going to say his name.
Oh no.
This is what I think of when I see your desk, and I play him that, and he laughed. And so he was gone on Monday, and I had to sit there to do something. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make this permanent. So I made that meme, and it's literally, I couldn't have got a better shot of Sam Jackson.
Nope.
at the time that
Did
I
you screenshot that?
I did.
That's a
Oh,
good
that's a really
screenshot.
good
'Cause he's like, you can see he's got the look on his face. He's got that look on his face.
Yeah, that's
The
perfect.
cigarette in his mouth.
He just like got his hands up, just
Yes. And on the top I put look at this workstation, and on the bottom, what a complete slob.
dude, perfect. It looks
And
good. I'm gonna like that.
I sent it to him, and he liked it so much he printed it off and put it up with his paper.
I figured you would have
Nice.
printed it off and just stick it on his monitor or
I
something.
just emailed it to him. And
Oh, man.
he
You know
printed
what?
it off.
That's great.
I might do that at work.
Well, look at my desk.
Yours is okay. I tentatively go over there when I'm cleaning the house, and I will start reorganizing your desk because I hate your desk.
Well, don't move a lot of things because a lot of things are
I know what I'm not allowed to touch.
put in a certain spot so they don't like mess up my computer connection. My computer's a POS.
Yeah, I know.
It barely gets it through the day, you know. Do you want to touch on EA?
Well, we can do that and then go into the playing and watching, and
Yep.
that will put us right about
Right about
where we need
time.
to be.
Right about there.
So I'll say my bit first. Electronic Arts shut down Visceral Games.
Now, I don't remember what Visceral's done.
I'm going to list some stuff that they've worked on. They did Tiger Woods 2000. They did NASCAR Rumble, Road Rash Jailbreak. I'll get to the stuff that's more interesting here. 007 Agent Under Fire. Lord of the Rings The Third Age. They did The Godfather, the game that came out for the PS3 and the Wii. They did the Simpsons game. Not sure what that, it's not really like legit. I don't know what that is. They did Dead Space and The Godfather 2. They did Dead Space Extraction, Dante's Inferno. I remember when that came out.
Yep.
They did Dead Space 3 and 2. So they were really big on the Dead Space trilogy. They did Battlefield Hardline and Army of Two: The Devil's Cartel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I were to show you the logo, it looks like that.
Mm-hmm.
On the YouTube, it's...
well, of those you've listed, I remember 007 Agent Under Fire. That was the second in the Bond series that started on the PS2 and Xbox. Original Xbox.
They used to be called EA Redwood Shores, so that might be a little confusing.
If I read this correctly, they shut them down to put another team on the new Star Wars adventure game.
What is this Star Wars adventure game? I've never heard of it.
I'm guessing it's a third-person Star Wars game. It was announced a while ago because that writer from Sony's on it, Amy Hennig, I think is her name.
Okay.
I believe she wrote... she was a writer for Naughty Dog, so I'm sure she had
Naughty Dog's a big one, yeah.
Input into the Uncharted's and whatnot. But,
Yep,
none of
how the fuck do you know that? It's right there. She's the creative director, Amy Hennig, right there.
How do you know these?
Because that one is explainable. I heard that over my time listening to IGN podcasts.
Oh my gosh.
But
That's
none of those
nuts.
games listed were huge.
Dead Space was a big trilogy.
Yeah, but Dead Space 1 was big. I think it started to fall off. And I even read something that
I think 2 was better.
Dead Space 2 cost them like $50 million to make, and it only sold 4 million copies.
Ooh.
So that's why there was a 3 and nothing after.
3, I heard, was because there was co-op. It just didn't have the horror element.
I liked 1, but I never finished it because I got to a hard part and I just gave up on it.
You never gave up on games when those things came out.
Generally don't. No.
You would get through that.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully they shut them down. Hopefully nobody got fired, though, and they just put the people on the Star Wars game.
Well, when I went to school for video game design, you heard about this stuff constantly. And
All the time.
Same time that I went to school was when Infinity Ward got into that shit with Activision.
Yep.
It was a hellish time to be in the game design company.
Well, and it was a big story because they had just finished Modern Warfare 2, which was enormous.
I don't remember what the big ordeal was on it. Do you remember?
The two main guys at Infinity Ward were claiming that Activision owed them some money, I think.
Weren't they looking for other studios? Because I think Infinity Ward had a contract. Once they were done with 2, they could go on to a different publisher.
That's possible. I really don't remember.
This is probably over Alex's head. She doesn't. A publisher is someone who gives you the money. A developer is the one who creates it.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
So
the big guys is like EA, Activision.
Mm-hmm.
Take-Two publishes Rockstar games, and they basically some publishers
They give them whatever money they need.
Some publishers hold a tight leash on their developers, and some let them do whatever, and Take-Two lets Rockstar take as much time as they need to make a great game because they know it's going to sell like Grand Theft Auto 5 did, which is
I'm gonna be
insane.
this guy and say Activision, they're a bunch of dicks. They've started a lot of the microtransactions and DLC. They started the DLC
Glad
trend.
you brought that up.
I think Activision, they're forcing Bungie to do the DLC. Bungie probably never wanted to, but I mean, they're the developers.
Yeah.
They're the ones that just have to do what the people who give them money want.
There's an argument for saying, now none of us are game developers, but there's an argument and a good point to be made that it's possible that, like you say, any add-on content is not really what the developer wants to do. The publisher needs it for the extra money.
Yep.
But you bring up microtransactions, and it actually just came out. It's a big story because Shadow of War just came out, and there's microtransactions in it that when they were announced were claimed that you need the stuff you can buy to complete the game.
What?
Which turned out to be false because even in the IGN review by Dan Stapleton, he played it, said you don't ever even need to touch it.
Okay.
So it's
That's
there.
I say that would have been a load of crap.
It's there, but you don't need to use it. You can get where you need to be by just playing the game.
Alex, to give you an idea what he's talking about, the Eververse on Destiny, that's microtransactions.
Well, yeah, I know.
And you wanted to put money in.
I want to.
Add-on DLC, downloadable content is not a new thing.
No.
But I think the microtransactions, like the one in Shadow of War, and I have not played Shadow of War, but they are starting to become more common, whereas you can spend real money inside the game. You don't wait 3 months for a pack to come out, and then you can decide whether or not to buy.
They used to just be called expansions.
Yes.
Warcraft started that. Not World of Warcraft. Warcraft 2 did a lot of expansions.
You basically buy another game that is the same game.
No, you buy... It's based... Yeah.
Well, because it became DLC because then you had the online store and all that crap.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wanted to talk about microtransactions because I do not have a problem with them.
Really? No. I do.
Unless they are required to play the game. If you can go through a game without spending the money, then fine. And I guess my problem is, I'll tell you why in a minute why I don't have a problem with it, but at the same time, you don't have to spend the money.
Yeah. You don't have
if
to.
you can't control your impulse.
That's me. I can't.
Now, and
I spent a lot of money on Rocket League.
Everybody has spent money on Candy Crush.
Oh, that's a big one.
That one especially.
That's the
not
big one.
Everyone, but a lot of people have.
Yeah.
I spent like $5. No, not even.
So you have spent money.
No, on Pokemon Go.
Okay, so that's money.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, but
that's a microtransaction.
Yes, it was, but it was. I wouldn't have done it on myself. We were out playing with people, and they wanted to keep going places and doing more, and we didn't have the kind of you needed coins.
Does it bother you that option is available?
It doesn't bother me that it's available. It's my choice to do it. I don't have to.
It's your choice to ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people need to have self-control. When it comes to these kinds of things, you just think, oh, it's only $1 here, $1 there, It adds up.
It's once you start getting in the habit of doing it all the time, then you realize
you're racking up
you're racking up a lot of money.
South Park did an entire episode on this about microtransactions. It's this game that came out about Terrence and Phillip. It's kind of like the Family Guy game where you're controlling the city and stuff. You got to collect coins and stuff, but you can get microtransactions to build better things.
And speaking of that Family Guy game, I remember I did spend some money on that game because every now and then they'll bring out characters that were maybe in an episode, but you had to pay for them. And there was one that I wanted. I know I bought John McClane.
You did?
I did.
Oh, I don't remember that.
And then right before I stopped playing that game, they had Brett Favre for a limited time.
Did you get him?
I didn't because he was like $10.
Ooh.
And I was not going to spend that. I think John McClane was like $3.
Okay.
But as far as microtransactions go, here's my point and why I'm okay with it.
Okay.
The publishers make so much money off of microtransactions.
They do. Which,
yes, okay, they make money. At the same time, wouldn't you want the publishers that you are fans of, EA, Activision, Take-Two, or whatever, to put that money into developing new games?
But do they?
I don't know.
Because they can always just go right towards the
it could go
CEOs.
Right to the shareholders,
Yeah.
I guess if you think of it like that, because a lot of times games, even though the price has not gone up on games, sometimes they just don't sell. I remember the first Tomb Raider, it sold several million copies, and they're like, yeah, that's disappointing.
I was like, that was successful.
That's awesome.
And it looked great.
Yes.
Square Enix was probably just that cash cow because they were the ones that did the Final Fantasy series, and now that they have the series up to 14 or 15 now, they have their mindset on making money. And because Tomb Raider didn't make the amount that they expected, I was surprised they brought a sequel out. Yeah. I was really surprised.
I was surprised they brought a sequel out.
So I like the idea if it gives the publisher extra revenue to continue to create good games.
I get it.
And maybe even take a risk with a new IP because a lot of them don't. They want, the next installment of whatever franchise.
Right. There's not that many out there anymore that really make it unless it's an indie game. Indie games make it really well these days. A lot of people have their mind set on that. Look at Minecraft. Look at Rocket League. Look at Limbo. Those kinds of games. Those were all made from independent developers, and they've been super successful.
You gotta think this year a successful new IP would have been Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
And you have Anthem is not out this year, but the new IPs, at least this year, honestly I can't think of any others.
No.
But it's dangerous. It's dangerous for a publisher to take a shot when games are so expensive to produce
and
develop.
Yep, that's why indie developers look at Cuphead. You know,
there's a new IP.
Yeah, that's a new IP. A lot of people think it's pretty successful, but the gameplay on it is so challenging and frustrating that
very hard.
That's the only reason I didn't buy it.
But I do believe last week they hit 1 million copies.
Really?
Jer bought it, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
It's not online co-op. It's couch co-op,
Yeah.
which you don't see that very often anymore.
No, I mean, good for them for doing that.
Very cool art style.
I love the art style.
I like the art style of it.
You think it's scary. It's
It
the
is.
1930s Disney style.
It is.
Yeah.
It's scary, but I appreciate that they took something
that hasn't been done in a
Yeah.
game since probably the Mickey Mouse game on Super Nintendo. If you guys remember that at all.
I don't.
It's a side scroller, and I remember it being kind of frustrating.
That's all I have to say about microtransactions. I mean, if you don't like them, don't spend the money. That's how
Right.
you vote in the video game industry. Do not spend money on it.
Mhm.
You know, if it doesn't make money, they won't put the time in to the development to make it available.
Right.
So vote with your wallet. That's what they always say on IGN.
Do it.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around. Playing and
Playing and
watching. Yay! We finally got to it. You playing anything?
I finished Tomb Raider, the story. I actually finished it at like 75%,
Wow.
which is I think is higher than what I
What
finished
was
it last
yours,
time.
Alex?
100.
You 100%
No. You finish the story then you go back and do all the stuff.
The collections.
You didn't get everything before you finished it.
Most of it.
Rise of the Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying anything. I don't know.
I can go back and look, but I'm pretty sure. I don't think 100%. I think it was like 98.
Okay.
Are you talking about the first Tomb Raider?
Both.
Okay.
I spend the time to I go through and I do all of the collectibles.
I like to do that, but you don't have to do that before you finish the story.
No, but I'm a looter.
Well, I wouldn't.
I have to go and do
Sometimes
that.
if you go to do a mission, it takes you out of that area,
Yeah.
and you have to go back later.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's. I mean, I do like that you could fast travel though. I mean, that's.
You got
Yeah.
any-
But no,
yeah.
I just that's just one of my goals. If I'm gonna finish a game, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try to go all out on it. Speaking.
Do you have any other games you were playing? No. Alex is on a roll here.
I finished BioShock 2.
Yes, she did.
I finished BioShock 2, and do not say what I know you're going to say. I managed to complete the game, and I didn't.
Fuck you.
I didn't
No,
die.
no.
I did not die.
She was playing on easy.
But I didn't die.
She got the achievement for not going into a Vita chamber
oh, yeah.
because she played on easy. That's not even an achievement.
well,
Bullshit! I get
If
25
it's-
G's for it.
if it's available, it's an achievement. But
I'll go through it and get it too.
It's taking the easy path to
Yes,
get it. but-
very much so.
It is, but at the same time, I told Josh the reason I played it on easy is because when I played BioShock 1 on normal, I started off on normal. It was just, there's just too much being thrown at me, and I have a hard time concentrating and listening to storylines and games because I don't play campaigns very often anyway for that reason because I like
You
to just
don't
go in
have
and shoot
to-
them up and leave.
You don't have to justify yourself to me.
You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
But so I ended up switching halfway through, or actually more like
We already talked
the
about
last
this.
quarter of the way through BioShock 1 and switching it to easy so I could
Enjoy
it and try to figure out what the story is and what I'm doing instead of every 5 minutes getting attacked or being seen by a camera and then having to fight off bots.
Hey,
and
you are defending yourself unnecessarily.
I know. I'm sorry. So that's why I played BioShock 2 on easy. I'm like, you know what? I did not get as much out of BioShock 1 as I wanted to because I was just too frustrated.
She's still defending herself.
No, I'm trying to explain that's why because you were like, oh, you didn't die.
It's your fault. So
I'm sorry.
It is your fault. So I have to defend myself.
So you beat it. Are you going to play Infinite anytime soon?
I honestly, like today I woke up and I'm like, man, I could play Infinite today.
Infinite is considered one of
I know everybody that I've talked
actually
to.
not just the best BioShock game, but one of the best games out
Yes,
there.
I really want to start it up. I don't know if I will start it up anytime soon, just because I think I might wait until after like the party and.
I think. Oh,
I'm gonna take too long to. Or there's just way too much time.
I want
not
to see
enough
your
time to do it.
reaction to the ending. Oh, it's so good.
Well, I did enjoy BioShock 2, and you told me I wouldn't.
Not a lot of people like to.
I didn't. I only played it for probably an hour.
Yeah. Not a lot of people liked it because it didn't have the in-depth story that the first one did. It was pretty basic.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty basic. I did enjoy the ending of this one compared to the last one.
Okay.
Just because I think the
It
okay,
felt
I can't
more-
really say. Okay, I can't say the ending. I can say like beating the boss and beating the game. Like I really enjoyed the cool stuff that you got to do at the end of Bioshock 2 and who you actually got to be.
I know.
So
I kept that a secret the entire time.
I know. I was so excited.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
So speaking of Bioshock, I played this game called Gone Home. It was free on the Xbox Marketplace, and it takes place in the Bioshock universe. It's a spiritual successor to it. I think it's an independent game, but it's about your main character coming home and no one's home, and you're trying to investigate as to why no one's there. I thought it was a horror game, so I was like, fuck, this is going to be scary. I'm not a big fan of scary games. The reason why it is part of the Bioshock universe is the airliner that you fly on is the same airline that Jack flies on in the first Bioshock. That's the only reason I know that. Okay. And there's also another game that is in the Bioshock universe called Firewatch. And I don't remember why it's in the universe, but it's just another one of those games that just has the same kind of things that are from Bioshock itself. It's kind of like just an investigative point and click kind of game. There's nothing to it really. You just read a lot of notes, and it's a big story about your sister and how she fell in love and left with her lover, and that's pretty much it. It's just a dramatic game, kind of like there was a game that was free last year. You were walking around with a computer or something, and he found out that he was a computer, he wasn't real or something. I don't remember the game. I don't remember what it was called. I'll probably put it up on YouTube if I remember. But other than that, I've been playing some Rocket League, killing it on the matchmaking. I love it. It's so much fun. And then Alex and I played some Destiny 2, and we beat the Nightfall. Yep, finally.
Finally, we failed the first time, and then we picked ourselves up, and we switched some stuff around.
Yep.
And figured out what we needed to do.
Pretty good.
And we beat it with like 10 seconds left.
Alex has this ability to where she can kill the final boss when no one else is around or watching.
Like it's not an ability. It's a coincidence that
it's
always
happened twice now, and maybe even 3 times. You might have beat one of the raid bosses too.
I believe so. Like
it was just Crota.
Like. It might have been Crota.
Yeah, from Destiny 1. But that's all we had for playing. Did you watch anything?
I don't think I did.
I've got a long list of
stuff. Going
Josh,
through Sons of Anarchy again.
Oh, are you? Yeah. Where are you at now?
At the end of season 2.
Is that where the Irish take his son?
Yes.
Oh, man. Look at me remembering things.
I was going to say, man,
that's where I stopped.
It was more into the story.
Nope.
But that's only season 2.
I think season 2 is probably one of the best seasons of the series.
I would agree with you, because if that's where he took his son, that was where I really got into it.
Season 3 is, I think, the worst season of the series. So.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. I fell off, but I forced my way through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many seasons? 6?
7.
Oh, wow. It's a pretty long series. Yeah. What were you going to say?
Oh, you did do a recording on your Xbox of your sparrow in Destiny.
Oh yeah, I was flipping all over the place. I'll show it on YouTube right now. It'll be right there.
We'll have to show you, because it's
ridiculous.
Really funny. It's like he tried to play Rocket League with his sparrow in Destiny. It was really funny.
I was flipping all over the place.
And I had played BioShock and finished it the night before for like 5 hours, and then the next night we were playing on Destiny. And I'm just, like I said, I'm a looter. And in BioShock, after you kill somebody, you go up and you loot the bodies.
That's not how Destiny works.
That's not how Destiny works. So it took me like a good 15 minutes to stop going after the bodies. And Josh's like, where are you going? I'm like, oh, dang it. Like, I keep wanting to loot the bodies afterwards.
So I've got a list of things I kind of want to talk about. I'm going to run through them pretty quick. Started up this Netflix series. It's an animated series called Big Mouth. It's pretty funny.
There, yeah.
It's very
raunchy. Yes.
Very, very raunchy.
It's about middle school going through puberty.
Yeah.
It's pretty much it. It's all you need to know.
But it's very raunchy.
You go in knowing about that.
But it's funny because
it's relatable.
It's very relatable. Like, they're bringing back stuff that...
I don't like the hormone troll.
I think it's hilarious.
The hormone monster.
I think it's hilarious. I think it would not be the show without it.
Yeah.
But
it's basically his subconscious, saying like, do it. Don't just go to the bathroom and jerk off or whatever.
Like, it's hilarious to watch. The first episode is just it's a hook, line, and sink for sure. But once they start talking about the girl version, like I'm like the main girl, I can totally relate to. So it's really fun to watch.
Yep. in 2 days, last night and the night before, I watched the entire Die Hard trilogy. 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, like I went to sleep and he watched Die Hard.
Yep, I watched 1 and 2 in one night and 3 in another, and we went to bed last night.
Yeah, you were really stupid putting in 3 because I actually was awake. I was trying to go to sleep for once because I had an appointment to go to this morning, and then I was like, well, nope, you put in Die Hard and I'm awake. Damn it, I have to watch it.
My sound clip.
Alex laughed out loud.
It has been so long since I've actually watched that Die Hard, so I was like trying to remember.
Die Hard with a Vengeance, for those who don't know.
Yeah, Die Hard with a Vengeance. So I was like trying to remember it. Josh, like, you're going to like this part. And I looked over, I'm like, oh, that's the part. So the last day, Josh, I've been quoting it.
What the fuck? Yeah, and still, I gotta say, the acting on all 3 movies is horrendous, aside from Bruce Willis. He does have some parts where it's like, okay, he's forcing... Die Hard 2, he forces himself into the story. Kind of like 5. I thought
3 was fine.
He was forcing himself to do the things he had to do.
I thought it was fine.
Kind of like in Die Hard 5 where he didn't want to be there. He kind of felt the same way with 2.
No, that is not comparable.
I'm going to watch 5 again. I have it.
That's fine, but that isn't... You cannot compare 5 to the other Die Hards.
Okay, I got it.
It's completely different.
The other thing, I've been watching The Office. We wanted to kind of fall off that and start watching The League, because Alex is...
You guys would really enjoy The League.
Well, that's the thing, is like we started watching The League when everyone else started watching it, but we had no idea about fantasy, so we just got off of it right away. Like the first episode's really funny.
First 2 episodes.
And then we saw a few more and I'm like, we just didn't get it.
Yeah.
And now we do, so now I want to watch it.
Alex and I did not mention this last week, but we watched the movie Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is a prequel to the Harry Potter universe.
When is it set?
It's set in the 1940s.
And then when is...
I think, or 30s. It's right after World War I or II.
Okay, no, but how far is it before Harry?
40 years.
40 years.
Yeah, because Harry Potter actually takes place in the 80s. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't.
Yeah. That's what it was meant to be. That's why they don't have cell phones and stuff in all the movies.
I just thought it was like some other world.
It is.
I know, but like, do you get it?
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, just like a universe where they don't have that kind of technology.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fantastic Beasts. If you're a Harry Potter fan, check this out. It was great.
I didn't really want to see it, and then because he was watching it, I watched it, and it's actually a really good movie.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Like, I really love the main character. He's like the acting and everything. Like, everything about that movie was really good. I really liked it.
A couple trailers we've watched. I know, Brett, you're all about not watching trailers, but this is a new IP. Kind of. It takes place in the X-Men universe. It's called The New Mutants. Yeah. And it's a horror version of mutants. Yeah. It's like, this is really brand new, dark and scary, gritty.
And I think because Logan came out,
Logan and Deadpool, because those were so successful, they're doing this. They're not afraid to try new things. Okay, DC, take a page out of Fox's book. Do the same stuff that they're doing.
Yes.
Make it interesting.
I don't know if the more and more I see the Justice League being advertised, I kind of don't want to see it.
That comes out next month.
I know, but it's like I'm not interested in it.
I'm not even interested in seeing Thor.
See, I want to go see Thor.
Yeah.
That looks good, and I've always enjoyed the Thor movies and the story. I want to go see Thor, but for some reason, I lost his name.
Chris Hemsworth?
Nope, Batman.
Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck. He is just, that Batman is not grabbing me at all.
You've seen him in 2.5 movies.
I know, but I'm not into it.
Actually, no.
The only person that I liked Wonder Woman a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel like she's just going to be like what she is. She's going to be a side character in here. So
I get it.
I think the trailers that I've seen, those are going to be the scenes that I see.
For the Justice League, let's just wait for a review.
And I think that's what I'm going to do. We've been starting to do that where I'm not watching the trailers anymore. I'm just going to wait for a review. And then depending on what they say, I may or may not go see it. Right. Like, I'm just not into it.
Yeah. So, we good?
I'm not excited about it.
Yeah, that was playing and watching. Now, we're going to get into our plugs and stuff. First of all, T-Shirt Tuesday on our Twitter page and on our top pin post of our Facebook page. You can see our our T-Shirt Tuesday giveaway. Actually, it says T-Shirt Wednesday ? Because I'm dumb. And you can go on there on Twitter and you can follow us on Twitter, like the post and retweet the post using hashtag PTO giveaway for an opportunity to win our T-shirt. Please do that. Gets us out there more, and you also get an opportunity to wear our own merchandise, which... Here it is. I'm wearing it right here. So yeah. That's
For those of you watching our YouTube video.
Yes. And I love it. I love my shirt. What?
I wanted to say one thing.
Oh, and I also have a shout out after you're done.
Okay. Just because I think there's just been so much news lately, a lot of people are kind of forgetting a big picture that happened 1 month ago. So 1 month ago was Hurricane Maria that hit Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. There is still 1 million people without running water and 3 million without power.
Wow.
It's 1 month, and people are
you don't
like,
see a lot of people talking about this anymore.
No, you don't. What I think that from now on until and FEMA is not doing anything apparently. Like I'm just
really?
I'm watching all these news things when we're working out, and that's how I'm staying kind of like in the loop. Is while we're working out, I'm watching like the screens, and I'm like, they're showing all this footage, and it looks like the storm happened yesterday.
But you're also watching Fox News and CNN.
Oh, there's also NBC and.
But that doesn't change the fact that there's all of these people that are still suffering, and we need help. Like people need help.
Yes.
Let's not get political on this.
I'm not trying to get political. I'm trying to do a PSA.
Because there's people that can point fingers and.
No, I'm not taking this to a political thing. I'm saying that it is obvious that people are out there sitting in their houses with their roof off, with no running water, no electricity.
The big deal is no running water.
No water, just...
Well, not clean water.
I know, but it's... Can you imagine that?
I can't.
For 1 month.
Our power was out for a couple hours, and I was diddling on my phone like, I hate this.
They do not have that kind of thing out there right now.
Yeah.
They got everything taken away in a night.
Yeah.
Makes you thankful for what you have.
Yes. So I'm like, I'm just trying to do a PSA out there. If you don't forget Puerto Rico. If you're able to donate something or water, food, money, something, find a way, get on sites, find a good. I don't know. I think maybe we can look up what a legit donation site or something is. I'll put the link right there, and we can put the link on our
if I find one
on our Facebook and whatnot, and
on our YouTube video.
But I just want to put it out there because it's hard to look at. And everyone else is just... I just think that we forget because there's so much news all the time. Mm-hmm. But I think that this really needs to be a spotlight until something significant happens to where people are getting helped.
Okay. I'm going to do a shout out to our friends at Tangled Chords, the band. They are playing a show at the Glory Hub on October 28th at 10 p.m. It's an all-ages show. Make sure you go check them out. They will be performing. I think they're the third act in. So, that's on our Halloween party night. And Kevin wants to make it to our party, but hopefully he does. Yeah. But he'll be performing roughly around like midnight or 1. So hopefully he makes it. But if you guys want to check out a local band and you're in the Fort Wayne area, go check out the Glory Hub. They will be performing there.
We interviewed Kevin, who is the singer.
Did. On our Aftercast, it was Tangled Chords, and they also showed their first single and stuff on there as well. Yeah. So without further ado, guys, it's time to plug it in. So if you are listening to us, remember there are other apps you can find us on as well. We are on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, Blueberry, TuneIn, Satchel, the Xbox One podcast app, Google Play Music, and Podbean. And as always, we thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing, rating us on iTunes, the reposts on SoundCloud, all that stuff. On our social media, joining us on our precast meetings. Those are always great. We love the fact that you guys are chiming in with stuff to talk about. We always forget things that are happening in the world and things that may have happened that might be associated with the holidays and things like that are coming up. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate it very much. And also, thank you for watching us on YouTube and subscribing. We've been climbing a little bit here and there, and we thank you guys for doing that. It's been a fantastic journey that we've been going with this podcast. So we thank you guys for doing all those things. Mm-hmm. If you ever want to catch us on Exploitative Radio, we are there Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. They play our most recent podcast on there. They play some interesting music. If you want to check out other podcasts, Monday through Friday around the same time, they play other podcasts as well. And I think on Friday is their own. So they play other people's on Monday through Thursday. So make sure you check that out. You can check them out on TuneIn, or you can go to their website, website, exploded.com. If you want to follow us on any of our social media apps, we are on Facebook, which is facebook.com/PTOUnlimited. Instagram is PTOUnlimited_podcast. We're also on Twitter, which is at PTOUnlimited. Check us out, as I said before in our precast meetings, every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join us on any of those 3 social media apps and chime in on the conversation and check out what we're going to be talking about that time on that time and for that episode. So thank you guys for doing that and joining us, and we appreciate it if you guys come back. If you want to email us about any topics you want us to talk about, or you want to chime in on something, we appreciate that as well. Email us at ptounlimited@gmail.com. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at Lemke619.
Brett_Wings.
Cute_kitty.
This is a long one, guys. We got to go.
It's not too bad.
It's not? Okay. I'm sorry. I just don't see the time.
We've
from
had
here.
longer shows before.
Yes, we have. So thank you for joining us, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Catch you next week.